one, and we are live. Hey, look at us.
Hello.
Hey, what's going
How
on?
are you doing?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well too.
That's good. We're missing David, and just so
We
everybody
lost
understands
David.
why we
Oh
didn't
my God.
really we didn't lose him. The reason
Oh,
we lost David is because David lives in the city of dikes, apparently in Amsterdam, and you can't let dikes run a power plant. Apparently, there it's that time of
in
the month,
Amsterdam.
and wherever he lives, Rotterdam, Amsterdam, something
No, no,
Dam.
no. He lives in a smaller one, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Gohenheim, something.
He lives in a. All
Eindhoven,
I know,
maybe. Eindhoven.
he lives in a place where the dikes run the dam, and apparently it's PMS this week, and they can't get the power up and running.
Okay.
So no David.
It's a shame. I thought those
Oh.
things happen only in Greece. I'm talking
Or
about Europe.
the rest
But
of
it
the world, but
happens
not
also
there.
in the Netherlands.
Yeah, that's why it's called the Netherlands. So for many
Yeah.
reasons. So how have you been? What's going on? What's new and exciting in the world of Adam?
Well, nothing really new. I don't know. I just finished yesterday the review that I was talking about. It took me much longer than I thought it would.
Right?
But if you want to do something right, you need some more time to do
Yes,
to
I
do it.
agree.
Yeah, it's
You
always
got
like that.
yeah,
Everything takes more time than you think that it will take if you want to make it right.
yeah. I agree.
And it's a very nice product. It's a pen display. I encourage all the digital artists that are here watching to go and see later. I'll
Okay.
post it right after the show.
On Instagram.
Uh, Yes, on Instagram and maybe on YouTube also. It was
Wow.
we agreed on Instagram, but I can because when I like a product. Look, I don't get paid for those. I
Right.
just
Right.
keep the product. That's it.
Right.
Not, but I like to do it because
Okay.
I've been always with technology and stuff, and they help us. I've made a career of technology, and
Right.
those gadgets are really nice, and they can help our work.
Right.
And this one, I don't know why I didn't really had for so long, because this is the first one that it's a pen display. You have a
Okay.
display, you write, it's like a tablet, like
Okay.
iPad or something like, but it's
Sure.
created for designers, right?
Oh
It's not
wow.
just, so you can use you connect it to your PC, and you can use actually any kind of program into it. You can create also. In my review, I create a new work that I will show today. I thought
Okay.
that the review will have it first, but finally we, like always, have it first.
All right.
And it's a different kind of work, because you asked me what I've been doing. It's a different
Right.
kind of work. I've been actually this week. I've been thinking a lot, about
Okay.
the artworks. Not only, I always think a lot. It's part of my job,
Right.
and there'll be some changes. I often say this, but
Right.
this time the changes will be real. I mean,
What are you going to do
and
when you say there's going to be changes to your artwork? What are you going to
I
do?
I want. Today I'll be working also on the analog, on the mixed media work.
Okay.
I want, like, kind of something different from my work now.
All right.
It's something, I
Keeping.
don't know, more close to the metaphysical thing
All right.
that I follow, and that I believe they are true.
All right.
Um,
Well, just remember,
because
David naked on a bear rug with a fireplace behind him with a fig leaf. That's
yes,
very metaphysical.
it's very metaphysical.
Yeah,
It's meta is after in Greek means.
it's
That's what it means.
it's
It's
physical.
after the
All right.
physical. It's
Yeah, after
beyond
the physical.
physical.
Yes, it's beyond
It's
physical.
beyond
Yes.
physical. It's not
Yeah.
normal.
That's right. That's
Generally
true.
speaking.
And and I literally have every artist that comes on, because we do Canadian art today, right? And I say to them, if you want to paint David, we want. I mean, it's nice that the one artist did the creation of David and whatever, but I'm like, no, if you want to paint David, that's what we're looking for. So if you need something metaphysical or physical metal, there you go. You can paint David nude.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll scare many people, and I bet you they'll never not have power again where he lives.
You think
I
they'll be
sure, because
living
they'll be afraid
in a
that that
cave,
thing would come out. Sure.
just fires, and
This fires. Yeah.
yeah, in the
So,
fireplace
well, I'm
if they have.
excited that you're going to do new work. So it's some
Yeah,
more
it'll be more
spiritual.
metaphysical. It'll be
Okay.
yeah, spiritual is also metaphysical, right?
Okay.
But it's more philosophical. I think it'll be more
Okay.
philosophical. I think I'll be. It's hard for me because I've been always using. I think I'll be using less the human body. I will be using it, but I will be using it less.
Okay.
I've said
Less
so
human
many things
body.
about the human body. I always said that the human body is the most expressive tool we've got.
Right.
I've been watching some dancing around the internet lately, and I still think so that the human body is the most expressive thing that we got.
Okay.
It's it's hard to say how it makes me feel, but it's hard to lie with the body. It's easier
Explain.
to lie with the words.
Right. Right.
It's easier to lie with an artwork like visual artwork like I do,
Okay.
but it's hard to lie with the body. So that's why we say that the body language
Right. Right.
we speak. It's because the body language actually does not lie. It's somehow uh, like how to say that it's fundamental kind of language.
Mm.
It's written in kind of our DNA when we walk. We don't think of how we position our body actually.
Right.
That's why I think that's why I always love the body, especially the
Okay.
female, of course.
Well, sure. I mean, if you're going to love a body, you might as well love that body.
Well,
So,
no, many years ago, I've been also using a lot of male bodies.
okay.
It's also interesting. Of course, if you take the whole of nature, the men are the
Mhm.
beautiful actually,
Well,
because
here's
yeah,
until we had homophobics, if you go back to the ancient Greeks, which you would know, or the Romans, most of the statues are of naked men with great
yeah, there
physiques.
was yeah,
And I
yeah,
was reading a book about I want to say Galileo, and I could be wrong, or Michelangelo. I'm sorry, it was Michelangelo, and it was 750 pages about Michelangelo and his pen strokes, and that he was homosexual, and blah blah, and how this whole thing. And I was like, it was just fascinating. And then all of a sudden, at some point, homosexuality was a terrible thing, and so now it's like, oh, you can't admire if you're a man's body. You can only admire a female or this or that. But back in the day, most of the statues and the carvings and the paintings were of naked men. So we've come,
yeah,
180
yeah.
now,
In
I
in
think.
the ancient world, for example, in Greece,
Yep.
they even had a custom that because there were some teachers who were teaching youngers. So
Right.
when the boy was coming to an age of 16, they was taking him from Athens like to Corinth, which is like
Yep.
100 kilometers, and they stayed there for some time, and he was teaching him poetry, gymnastics,
Right.
mathematics, everything he knew, because that was the
Mhm.
way that they were teaching them, and they were also teaching them love.
Yeah.
It was
Well, the book.
normal at that time for this to happen. I remember
Yeah.
when I was in the army, I took at the beginning, I took a book with me, and it was some dialogues by Plutarch.
Okay.
And I remember that it was, I don't remember the name of the book, but it was a talk about two men, and one was homosexual and the other not.
Mhm.
And they were talking which relationship is better,
Hmm.
uh, the homosexual or the. And they had, proposals. Each one was trying to develop his
Right.
idea about it. That was the dialogues. Like one was saying that the homosexual, that yeah, but the guy understands you, it's the same sex, he's got
Mhm.
the same physical problems. Yeah,
Right.
but with the woman you can have a family,
Right.
stuff like that. A lot of practical and philosophical thinking.
Right.
So for them it was very normal thing, very very
Mhm.
normal thing. You know what happened, and we started to look in a different way to it. Christianity happened.
Oh yeah, that screws up everything.
Christianity happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, though,
In
like I
the
said,
wrong way, of course,
right. Well,
because
Christianity is
there's
it's a scam. Let's just be blunt. It's a bunch of crap. They found some books and they talk about how wonderful it is, but they left out what 15 other books that talk about that you don't have to go to a church. You can just be you can you can get in touch with God kind of like on your own. You know, and so it's a bunch of crap. So for the church to have power, you have to scare people. How do you scare people? You're going to go to hell. How else do you scare people? Oh, you can't do this. You can't. That's all bullshit. And that's the problem because if before the church came, not that we weren't killing each other for other things, but everybody just kind of got along to a point. You know what I mean? It's like when you read Greek history or you read Roman history, other than the Romans wanted to kill everybody, other than that, you know, it wasn't for religion. They just did it for, I want to conquer land. I want to conquer this. They didn't really care who your God or gods were. And then Christianity came along and really around the 300 CE period to about
yes,
600
yes,
is
in
when
the
all of a
Eastern
sudden they
Roman
said,
Empire, the
yep,
Byzantine.
yeah, they wanted to kill
Constantine
everybody.
started this.
Right.
Yeah, we have a lot of traces from this period, also in
Yes.
Crete here, in Greece in general. And they were building. Well, actually, I like those small churches that we have scattered all
Right.
around the island and all around. They're really beautiful.
Mhm.
I don't have the same opinion about Christianity. I have maybe the same opinion about the institution of Christianity, the church.
Right. Right.
I don't think that the faith or what they were saying in the books are actually wrong. I take it symbolically. They are what the institution was wrong because the institution became powerful.
Right.
It had the same or even stronger power than the politics, than the
Mhm.
kings. You know, they were always the kings and the pope or the
Right. Right.
priest or somebody over there. And for a long time, you know, the church was the only client of the artist. They were asking and
Right.
paying for the paintings because there was no AI generators at that
Right.
time or
Right. Right.
photography. So hence all the great paintings from all the like Michelangelo, for example,
Right.
what you said, and the others that were inspired from the church
Yeah.
and all the happenings from the Bible and stuff. So I
Well,
don't. I yeah.
no, no, you're say I agree with you, but I think the problem is that the church, like you said, became too powerful, especially the Catholic Church. Let's not just say Christianity. Christianity, I'm sure, serves a purpose, just like Judaism and being a Muslim. They all serve a purpose, right? They all
Yeah,
serve a
yeah,
higher
yeah,
purpose, right? I'm good with that. I
yeah.
have a problem with the Catholic Church because the Catholic Church to me is they're all businesses. So to me, it's like you
Orthodox
can
is
believe,
also, you know,
right?
business.
To me, it's like you can believe in the fable, the book, as
Yeah,
long as you believe in something and whatever you want to call your God. Like I look at the report from the CIA on the Gateway Project, the absolute, and I'm like, I can understand that. The absolute, blah, blah, blah. So that's God, the universe, whatever. But when before the church came along, the Catholic Church, there people prayed to gods with an S. And then the Catholic Church is like, there's just one God. Well, I don't want to be rude or anything, but you can't go through millions of years and then all of a sudden say, in like, 300 CE, by the way, there's only one God when everyone's been praying to gods. And they don't do it with any logic. They just say it's one God because of this one guy. I have a problem with that. I think there were gods. Now, whether they were little green guys or not, another story. But I'm sort of like, I'm sure there's something out there that's more divine. And I know David always says we need to believe. I don't think I need to believe in anything. I just believe in that because if this is all there is, and this is a mistake, which is what the string theory is, the Big Bang, and all that other crap, then this is pathetic. I have to believe there's something bigger and higher, and that's kind of what I go with. Like the Knights Templar, I was reading something on them, and when they say born again, they're not talking about where you get baptized. They're talking about reincarnation and all these other things. So I think that the churches and even the synagogues get it wrong. I think everybody gets it wrong because you're trying to keep people like
yeah. I
this
agree with
instead of
that.
let them explore. And
I
I think that's
agree
a big
that.
thing. Yeah,
But I also agree that we need to believe something because I
I agree.
think first of all, it's about the meaning in life.
Yeah.
If you take of everything, like now, look, we are in a meaning crisis right now. Why?
Yes.
Because we have also lost faith,
Yeah.
and there's nothing left. God has left us. There was a
Yeah.
God once, and he left
Now he's
us. Now we
gone.
don't believe. So we need faith also for practical reasons.
Yeah. Well, if you
Because
remember, and you may be
yeah,
too young for this, but I'm a million years old,
yeah,
so I remember
really.
these things. I was here when the Earth cooled. Let's just go. So, but in the 70s, Time magazine had an article in the front cover of Time magazine said, "Is God dead?" That was the cover story about religion and faith, what you're talking about. This is in the 70s. So I think what's happened is, to your point, now because the God, for lack of a better term, has become Instagram and TikTok and other things, I think people have just forgotten how to be nice. Let's just, what I'm saying, to believe in something. It's like, why can't I just be nice to my fellow? Like it's just, it's war, 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 fight, fight, fight. You're this, I'm a that, I'm going to hate everybody. I mean, I was thinking about this morning. I have friends who are Muslim. They go to a Muslim school and they're boycotting Starbucks. And I'm like, okay. And I said, why are you boycotting Starbucks? And they said, because it's a Jewish company. I go, no, the guy Charles R. Schultz is Jewish, but it's not a Jewish company. And they go, well, we're boycotting it because Starbucks supports Israel. I go, I think a lot of people, and I said, I support Israel, but you're still my friend. And like my friend's kids had nothing to say to that. They're like, but you're you. I'm like, I understand it, but I'm still Jewish. Like I didn't change. Like the last time you saw me, I didn't go from like something else to Jewish to what. I'm still Jewish, but you still talk to me and you still go to dinner with me. So what's the
Yeah,
difference?
but this is
And
silly because there are Jewish people who are opposed to the war.
it's very true.
Like there are many of
But
them.
listen, everybody's opposed to the war in general. Like let's just be blunt. Like the war
Generalizing
is bad.
things is a bad thing. It's
Yeah,
like saying that, oh, the ancient Greeks were all gays, so
my
Adam is
God,
half Greek, so he is gay or
you're
half gay.
gay.
I don't know. I don't.
Hey,
I'm not gay, but
I'm gay.
it
I'm
wouldn't be a
happy all the
problem if I
time.
were gay.
Listen, I'm gay. I'm
Meh.
happy all the time. So, we're good. So, no, my point is that people are just stupid. And it doesn't
Of
matter
course
if
they
you're
are
straight,
stupid, and
but
this.
it doesn't, this straight or gay is bullshit. If whatever you are, if you're happy, then you're happy. Some little book of bullshit that somebody made up or wrote, which may or may not be true, doesn't dictate your life. There's 68 countries on this planet that if you're a homosexual, they'll kill you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So,
so many.
yeah, right.
Are you
68.
sure? There are
So
so many.
there's probably more, but 68 that I'm
But
aware of.
but look, we're on the West. We're supposed to be the most open societies,
Right.
in the world and stuff.
Yep.
But still, there are a lot of people, at least in Greece, who think that homosexuality is a
Mhm.
disease. So,
It's
like, what the
crap.
fuck? Take a pill. Oh, I'm not. I now I
Yeah.
like women. What the fuck? Maybe
Yeah.
they take a pill and, oh, what the fuck? I'm rich now. Are
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
okay in the head? There's a lot of stupidity in the world. A
Yeah.
lot of stupidity, and
Yeah.
I don't know why and what is their problem. I mean, with gay, with Roma, with
Yeah.
Jewish, with stuff. I don't know. People have made a lot of mistakes in their lives. They don't know
Yes.
who to blame to, so they blame
Mhm.
somebody else. Like around everybody else's
There you
fault,
go.
not mine. It's
Right.
it's the Jewish fault that there's war in Palestine,
Palestine.
in
Right.
Gaza and stuff.
Yeah.
Show me on the map where is the Gaza. Well, fuck
Yeah.
cares where the Gaza is.
Yeah.
Just there is a lot of stupidity. There is a lot of
Yes.
stupidity. They don't know the whole history of the conflict.
Correct.
There's many things, but people like to take sides very easily. They think it's like a game, like a football game or something like
Yeah.
that. They think that it's a video game.
Yeah.
But there was this week. There was the Putin interview. I saw it
Oh, with
on
Tucker
the
Carlson. Yeah. Tucker
Carlson.
Carlson
Yeah, yeah,
interviewed
yeah.
Putin. Yeah.
I
Just
opened
so
and
you
I
know.
started to listen. Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
I
going to tell
started to
you.
listen, and it was what I was saying also about the religion, about the narratives in lives. We need the
Right. Right.
narratives. We can kill. There has been many atrocity and crimes committed by very religious
Yeah. The
Christians.
church.
The church. They send crusaders down there
Yeah.
and slaughter people, like thousands of people. They were slaughtering for the faith. Like also
Yeah.
in the America,
Yep.
a lot of millions of people died.
Yeah.
Uh, in the name of God. So
Well,
don't bullshit
that's the
me. I'll
problem,
show
right?
you an artwork. I'll show you an artwork. This is an older one. I'll
Okay.
share
Just to let you know, David, you know David, he couldn't make it today because the dike screwed up his electric. David
yeah.
actually sent an email after Tucker Carlson's interview to Putin and asked him to come on Lost Dollar Business Club for an interview. So we're waiting to see if Vladimir is going to come join us. So, all right, we're going to show some Adam's artwork here. Hold on. This will be very exciting. Ooh, I like that right away.
Look, this is an old artwork. I did it like 13 years ago. It's
That's
called
gorgeous.
Sin with a dollar. Sin.
Yeah, yeah.
So that it, I don't have a problem with religion and people having
Right.
faith. I have a problem with fucking hypocrites.
I agree.
This is what's happening right now. They are about power. The institutions are about power. They have lost their faith. They don't believe themselves,
Right.
The people are believing that they don't believe. And
They've
okay,
lost their way.
I'm generalizing, which I said I shouldn't, but you know what I'm talking and who I'm referring to. It's so devastating, and it's it's taking such enormous dimension now that it's like generalizing it. I don't believe in the institutions anymore. I don't go to church. I would like to, because it's. I go to the small churches that I talked to you about.
Right.
The Greek ones, the small ones.
Right.
There you can feel the presence of the God in a way, because it's also symbolical. God is everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in his house like in the church.
Right.
It's everywhere. It's in you. It's inside you. You're part of God,
Yeah.
And not any specific God. It can be the Zeus, like it can be the Jewish God. It can be Buddha, which is not a God.
Right.
I mean, Buddhists, they don't have a God. They have a state of mind, like
Tao. It's like Taoism. It's just the same thing.
And like you said, there have been thousands of religions in this world. There's not that one is right and others are wrong. They're all right.
Yeah.
But you would say, are they the same? Well, they are not the same in the practice, but I think in the essence, they are the same. I don't think you will find a religion that say, kill others, fuck others, cheat. They're not those kind
yes,
of
there is. Yes, that's called Trumpism.
Really?
That's the Trump religion.
It's not a religion.
That's the Trump. That's a religion now. It's a Trump. Magna is a religion. But no, I
don't
agree with
say
you.
this. No, it's not right. Trump will be a
true,
president
but it's
again.
not right. But it's true. Listen, we're going into
Trump will be a
1930.
president again, maybe, or no?
I'm sure he will. And here's the problem.
You think so? You think so?
I'm hoping not. But if he is, he is. So here's two issues with that. One, there was an article this weekend in the Financial Times, the FT. Why they don't sponsor us, I don't know. But anyway, the Financial Times said that an article written that Article 5 of the NATO was saying that their analysts were saying at some point within the next 3 to 5 years, Putin is going to go sweep through Europe because NATO is getting weak. Trump's made a statement over the weekend that said that we will pull out of NATO and not help them if there's a war in Europe because NATO's not writing checks. We're writing the checks. And I'm like, so basically he's going to cause World War III because at some point people are going to be like, no, you can't have Russia coming through Europe again like it's 1939. So that's going to be a problem. So, there's all
I don't
these
think there will
things.
be World War III. I think that World War III.
I think you'll have China attack Taiwan. I think you'll have China attack Taiwan at that point because you're going to think America is weak and Trump won't do anything. I think you're going to have Putin roll into Eastern Europe like 1939, and we're going to be back into the 30s and the 40s of the 1900s because America is going to play ostrich like it did back in World War II until American felt threatened, and by then it may be too late.
No, I don't think that there will be World War III in a way that we think about it, like the two others. If it happens, it might already happening. It'll have a different kind of form. It'll be more hybrid, like digital, AI and stuff like that, and some conflicts, which already we have some conflicts.
Putin's not doing that. Putin's rolling tanks through stuff. No, so Putin's war is going to still be tanks and people on the ground. I think China, I don't know how they're going to go into Taiwan, but I think if Putin really wants to go back to the 1800s of the USSR, that means the Ukraine.
Did you hear the interview? Did you hear the interview? Did you see the interview?
I did not because I could care less about either of them.
I will tell you how it started. He says that Carlson asked him why there's a war or something like why did you invade, and he started to say, let me tell you a few things, half a minute or 1 minute history. And he was talking like for 20-25 minutes about history, what happened 1,000 years ago, and then this happened then, and this happened then. It's crazy. And this is also about the narrative that I'm talking about. That there are people who have stuck some kind of history in their head. Look, we all have histories in our head. We need to live like that. Otherwise, there's no meaning in our life. Our life, our nature, our mind and brain is this way constructed that we need a history, to go by. Like, I was born there, my name is there, I came there, I'm a digital artist, and things like that. This is a history narrative. We need this narrative. That's why we like the movies, because we know there's fucking lies. We know it. They're playing. They're actors. But we're not thinking all the time, like, what a lie, what a lie. You just get into it. Your mind becomes part of the happening of the movie, of what's going on there. And because the brain likes to deceive itself. It likes to do it. It does it all the time. And probably everything we know are lies, are stories. Well,
they are stories. Except if you see it with your own eyes. But even then.
Yeah, and look, this guy, Putin, he started a war for some historical reasons. I mean, that started like hundreds of years ago. Now, something, if everybody was doing the same, because everybody can do the same, right?
Right.
But I will tell you something. I don't think that he's totally wrong in his whole narrative. I mean, NATO was kind of pressing Russia around. This is true, because they were saying, Georgia and Ukraine is not going to go into NATO because it's too close to Moscow. It's really too close. And they have nukes. Yeah, it is a strong power. It's maybe not economically, because from the point of economical view, it's like Italy.
Right.
It's.
But wait, when you said that
Italy is a medium country now, it's not.
So when you say Putin had like reasons, so do you think that Putin's invasion of the Ukraine is he had the right to do that, or is he just trying to say flex some muscle?
What does it mean? Flex some muscle.
So, well, I'm saying, because you said you see some of his points, but I mean, was there really
in
a
some
point for him
he's
to go
not
into?
Totally wrong. I think in the Minsk agreement, they kind of betrayed him in a way. I think so. I think so. That he got mad about that, and he started to say, "The fuckers, they're the West is not saints. We are not saints.
No kidding.
The Americans are also not saints. There was involvement of CIA for a long time in the Ukraine. Now, was it right or not? I'll not go into that.
Right.
But and I also believe that Ukraine, it might not exist before. I think there was no country Ukraine before.
It was Czechoslovakia.
No, Czechoslovakia is on the west side. This is something different.
We're in New
it's
York.
More west.
It's
below Poland.
Okay.
We're talking about a little more east. There wasn't a country like Ukraine before.
Let's see when the
Second
Ukraine
War,
started. Keep going. Let's see when the Ukraine became a country.
But you know something? Before 1821, there wasn't any country like Greece. There wasn't any country called Greece. I mean, when we're talking about antiquity and ancient times, Greeks were a nation. And the nation was supposed to be constituted by language. It wasn't something like DNA test or countries. There were at that time city countries. Like Athens was a country. Had some allies on different parts of Greece. What we call Greece now, right? And Sparta was a different city country, like that. And then Alexander started he kind of created a country, that he called Macedonia. But
Yes.
there were Greeks also, because they were
Mhm.
also speaking Greek. So it
Yep.
was one nation. And this is a problem with the Northern Macedonia that we have. They say that they are the descendants of Alexander, but they
Right.
speak a Slavic language. They
Right.
speak
Right.
nothing like Alexander. Alexander is a Greek name.
Right. You know,
Uh, and he
people
was
forget. So
always
just
speaking about Greeks, 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 and they are
right.
laughing that there was no country. Yeah, it's true, but there were many like countries that didn't. We evolve,
Right.
but the nation is the same. Like take DNA test. They have
Right.
taken DNA tests from here in Crete, from some bones that they found from like from people like 1500 BC Minoans.
Right.
They taken
BC. Yeah.
also from Mycenaeans in
Okay.
Peloponnese, and they say that I read it in the New York Times that they were saying that the Greeks have like not divine DNA, like the DNA is very similar to that kind of DNA of the ancient
Oh
Greeks,
wow,
and this is
that's very
crazy
cool.
because yeah, this has been such a long. Well, the Greeks had many conquerors, but they didn't mix too much with the
Right. It's
conquerors,
not.
right?
They're not like
Because of the
Genghis the
different.
Khan and Attila the Hun, where they mixed with everybody, and
Yeah,
had
I
ten
don't
thousand kids.
believe.
Well, no, let me
Yeah,
just say this before, because I don't want to be. So Ukraine was a not a country before 1991. Ukraine was
yeah.
part the Soviet Union, and when the Soviet Union dissolved in 1991, Greek, not Greek, you got me on Greek. The Ukraine
Thing.
became its own country, if you will. So I think Mr. Putin is trying to bring the 1991 back, apparently. So, but I didn't mean
Yeah,
to
yeah,
interrupt you,
yeah.
but we
No, no.
talked
He
with.
thinks historically it was a
Yeah,
mistake by the communists, by the Soviet
right, right.
Union, that
Yep.
they had offered such a long parts of Ukraine to them, and also Crimea.
Yeah.
And
Which there's still control.
well, there are many, many ways to justify a war. There are
Yeah.
many ways. But there are people dying, and they're still dying.
Mhm.
There are devastated families. And on the other hand, a war is a money maker also for
Yeah.
some
For
people.
everybody.
Yeah, for everybody. Not for everybody, but for some. For some. I mean, there are companies in the US or in Europe or somewhere else
Or in
that they
Asia
have
or in Russia
yeah,
or
maybe
in
yeah,
like
maybe
that.
Iran
Yeah.
and Turkey, that they sell also
Yeah.
drones that have benefits from the
Yeah.
war or other
Yeah.
wars also. And
I
this is a
it
problem also, as long
yeah.
as there are people making good money from the wars. But the wars is
Mhm.
also like this. And this is the thing that I say, that we are still monkeys, that we still have
Shaved
problems between
monkeys.
each other, because I understand the problem in a way, that the
Right.
Russians and the Ukrainians have a problem. Do we need to solve with guns? No, I
No.
don't think so.
No.
We've tried it before. If guns were solving problems, we'll be having more and more wars,
Hmm.
etc. We don't like what we don't want wars. And there are stupid people, as you said before, that they think that it's a game, like that they're
Yeah.
playing games. Well, if you were like a moment there
Hmm.
on the front, you'll be shitting your pants
Yeah.
immediately.
Right.
And when you see those videos, they're a real thing.
Yeah.
It's just tank going, and
Yeah.
there's no car, or there's
Yeah.
no other tank, or there are 10 people dead
The way
in a
the reason you
second.
want to the reason you have war and the reason you have all this is because the leaders of the world need to keep fear. If you keep fear, you keep people under control. If you keep people under control, you can treat them like little lab rats. And most people are ostriches anyway, and they stick their head in the sand and they don't know, they don't care, they don't read. When we talked about kids, whether you're Jewish or Muslim or Christian, and you're boycotting and you're against the war, that's great. But if you don't understand the history of it, you really don't know what you're boycotting against, or you don't know what you're speaking about, it doesn't do you any good. And that's what the problem is, right? So as long as the leaders can keep you in total fear and the military industrial complex, not just in America, but on a global level, can keep it going, they're happy campers because they're making trillions of dollars, right? And it's like we can keep the people in line. That's why I always say when the lizard people finally come here and go, here we're here, people are going to be like, oh, this is cool. And then what do? You can't have a military industrial complex because then you have a power that's more powerful than you by billions of years. So now you're the ants. So I think that unfortunately there's a lot to it. And, we talk like the meaning of life and war and all this. It's just, people just don't think. It's like, you don't need to, if you disagree with someone, talk. Protesting and boycotting, this is all a bunch of crap. Like, why don't you just say, hey, I just don't agree. Okay, we can go still have lunch. You know what I mean? It's like, we're still going to go have lunch. I just disagree with what you think. Okay, that doesn't mean I hate you. Doesn't mean I don't like you. It's just I think what you
but
think.
generalization is bad, like
Right.
all Jewish are bad. Well,
No.
there are Jewish
Well, no,
which are
that's true.
bad. There are Jewish which are good. There are Greeks
Yeah.
which are bad. There are Greeks which are
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Polish, Americans, and everybody.
Right.
You met all the Jews. I have a Jewish friend, and he's
Right.
really, really nice guy. I love him. I mean,
Thank you.
you
Oh,
are.
no, it's not sorry.
I mean, I in
You have two
physical
Jewish
because I
friends.
never met you.
That's true.
On
That's
the
true.
online, I have more. I have you
Right,
also.
right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're a great guy. I don't think that you're a bad guy.
Right.
We can share a lot of aspects about life, and
Right.
I know you're a caring guy that you do
Yeah.
stuff. I don't think yet you're about bad things in the world. I know you're against wars.
Yeah.
You want peace in
So
the world. I know you
everybody
do.
wants peace in the world.
Not
I remember
everybody.
when the Vietnam War broke out, where I was a kid, and I literally wrote a letter to Richard Nixon, who was the president at the time, and talked about peace and whatever. And what I got back was a very nice handwritten note, which I probably lost over the years. My mom had it framed from the like, we appreciate your whatever, blah 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 blah. Signed Richard Nixon. I was like, thanks, but I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really stop the war, there, tricky dick. So I don't see where war is a benefit. I'm
No.
very much. I come from the intellectual side of things. It's like I don't understand why we can't talk through it. And if we don't come to an agreement, instead of killing each other, let's come up with a compromise. It's the same in a business deal. Just because we try to take over a company and they don't let me buy them, or we can't come up with the numbers, I don't send like 500 guys in a tank and go blow up their building. It's like, okay, we'll try something else. Or so the problem is everybody goes back to their most primal thing, which is kill, 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 war, war, war. Everybody's wrong. And nobody talks. And that's the problem with today's society.
No, a lot of
With
people talk. It's not.
no,
It's not about that.
the kids don't talk. The kids watch TikTok and Instagram because they're idiots.
Well, the kids
The
are kids.
parents
They need
watch
to
Fox.
play. They need to
No,
play.
that's not playing. Kid, you know what play is? Play is go outside, ride your bike, climb on monkey bars, play baseball, play basketball. That's
They do
playing.
this too. Come on.
No, they don't.
They
Oh,
are
no,
in
no,
the.
no. Not
They
in
are
America.
in
They
the.
don't. Not in America. They don't. In America, the kids are fat and happy, and their mommy and daddies don't raise them anymore. They have them
Well,
on
look.
TikTok and Instagram.
You see, it's not the kids' fault.
Yes,
The
it
kids are
is.
raised like that because I see that the parents what they are
Right.
doing. The kid is like 2 years, 3 years old. They give him the tablet and shut up
Yeah.
and just play.
Yeah.
So
I know.
he's being raised and grown up with a tablet in front of you, so he knows that this is
So
the
you know what
world.
we should do? So here's what we do: we take those parents out back like a horse, and we shoot them and get the kid real parents. That's the problem. That people are letting technology do it until you get a robot that is a human robot that can talk and interact with your child and teach them. That's when you can let technology babysit. But I would never give my child, if I had a child, and I want to thank all those cards I get from the Vietnam people
You
for
don't have
Father's Day. But
children?
anyway, no, well, I do, but it's a whole village in Vietnam I can't visit. But anyway, but I would never, ever, ever, ever let my child have, first of all, a phone until you're 16 or 17. That's the first thing. You don't get an iPad. If you have a computer, it's for schoolwork or whatever. You would read books. You would develop your mind, not 30-second shorts. I'm talking about you sit down and you read a book for 2 or 3 hours. Like when we were kids, we read books. That was the imagination, right? The only time
Yeah,
we
like
really
Mein
watched
Kampf
television was
by
Saturday.
Hitler. There are
Oh,
books
well,
like really bad.
I did read.
It's the,
I did read Mein Kampf in the 8th grade. I never forgot it. I read Mein Kampf because I wanted to see because we were on history. I was like, I had to see what all the fuss was about. So I'm
yes,
reading
yes, of
Mein
course.
Kampf, 800 pages long, and the first 300 to 400 pages isn't so bad. It talks about infrastructure and how our government should run. And I'm like, I don't see what all the problem
I
is. I mean, I
haven't
know
read.
what the problem is, right? I turn like to page 401. And then like the next sentence is, and then you kill all the Jews. And I'm like, okay, now I see where the problems are. And then the next 400 pages is just basically how you eradicate a whole population. I'm like, so really, if you take the first 100 pages of how to run a government, very good infrastructure. The rest of it's not so much. So, but that's my point. People hear a story, but they don't read the history behind anything. So when
things in general, Stephen, are much more complex. I mean, Ukraine and everything. Even the hate for homosexuals.
Right. Yes.
It's more complicated. It's more psychological, or even philosophical than it appears to. But people like to think very simple. And Trump, for example, is a simple guy. Passing very simple. They are saying, in a way, we're talking about wars, and they say that when Trump was in power, there were no wars.
Bullshit. There were wars.
Of course there were wars, but they were not like war like this. Like he's saying that there wouldn't be any war with Ukraine because he will give Ukraine to Russia, to the
I was going to say he's just going to let him. He's not give him any support.
Take it.
Yeah, that's
there's
easy.
no war. It's easy. There's no war. Look, I destroy NATO. Don't worry, China. Don't worry, Russia. There will be no war, but there will be no more strength of America. Look, the dollar will not be so strong anymore. I want to see those people actually after, because it's always like that. Like they elected, because Hitler was elected in 1933. Democratically, he was elected. He was saying all this bullshit. The leaders, they are stuck. They were cheating you. Look at this. We have a weak country now.
Yeah.
And look what happened later. They were at the front all the time.
But that's why I keep saying America's falling into 1938, 1939 Germany. And because people don't know history anymore, and the five of us that read a book, or a few of them that do, nobody listens because you're like, he's wonderful. He's wonderful until he's not. And when he's not, when he starts taking away freedom of speech and he takes away the Constitution and he does this and he does that and he tried to throw over the government allegedly on September 6th and we're not doing anything about it, our company is going down, down, down. Superpowers last what? Anywhere from 50 to 250 years. We've run our course now as a superpower. So whether the new kid on the block is going to be China, whether it's going to be India, there was an article in The Economist that said really in 20 years it could be Mexico. So unless America has a mind shift and starts electing leaders,
mind shift. This is the important thing because economically a lot of countries will go up, but it's also about the mindset. It's how because look also what happened because the Eastern, like India or China, they have different cultures in general, different tradition. But now the Western tradition is kind of there too,
But
like the individualism.
Right. But in America, though, we need a mindset. We need to elect not like an autocrat like a Trump. And we don't need to, and listen, I have nothing against Trump or Biden. But we don't need to elect my grandfather, who's like 1 foot on a banana peel and 1 foot on the grave, which is
we need younger guys. We need younger guys with a new vision. And I don't want to also.
Right. And I don't need an autocrat who thinks he's a dictator. I don't need that. I need, and I said this to someone yesterday, and they looked at me and they thought about it. I said, I need a cross somewhere between a Richard Nixon, a JFK, and a Ronald Reagan. Someone who comes in and gets what American patriotism is about. How to work with the world and how to move forward. Well, I don't know. I mean, like I can read stuff on George Washington and all these other guys. That's it.
The Democrats, who have they? What are they proposing? Biden? Biden will be.
which is the worst. Yeah, Biden and Camilla. No,
really?
They got to come up with. Yeah, they got to come up with.
They will. This is sure that they will be.
Unless Biden, if Biden is smart at the Democratic convention, he should say, you know what, kids, I'm just a little too old. I got the country back where it needs to be. And this is who I think would make a great president. And nothing against Camilla Harris, but I've not heard her speak about anything of anything. I never see anything about her. I think the Democrats need to come up with somebody that's somewhere between, like, say, 45 and 50. That's going to be charismatic and do it. And I don't think it's going to be Newsom from California because he can't fix the problems in California. You're going to need someone who's just going to be.
Have you spotted somebody like that, in your opinion?
I haven't. That's the problem. The Democrats are hiding behind Biden. And the Republicans are hiding behind Trump. So even if you were a strong in either camp, because your party is such a bunch of little weak pussies, they're not putting you forward. That's a problem, and that's going to be the problem. America
But
is
tell me
just
something, because
yeah.
is this really, really important? The face of the president. I mean, there's a policy behind, and
Mhm.
okay, Biden is right now a president,
Right.
but there's actually a team behind them that is making the policy.
Well, the shadow government is behind them, the
Yeah,
guys who really run the country. But the problem with the
yeah.
president, it's like a
Who are
CEO of a
they?
company. Well, the Congress and Senate, they're idiots, and mostly, I'm assuming it's the military and the Illuminati
So
for
there's
discussion. But here's the thing: if you're the president of America, you're nothing more than the CEO of a company, right? You're the
yes,
CEO of America Inc., which means if I'm the CEO of Apple or IBM or whatever, I'm still the CEO. And people look for the CEO to be a leader, not a fucking idiot. And so if your leader is a fucking idiot, then people look at your whole country. Remember, I travel globally for work. I know what
yeah,
people think
I
of
know.
America. And on a scale of 1 to 10, we're not even making a one. So that's a problem because they look at who our leaders are and they're like, your leaders are stupid. And then they look at something like Brazil, where their past president tried to do a Trump. He's going on trial because the people are like, no. And when the new president got elected, the whole country, whether they agreed with it or not, had solidarity. So they're all look at Brazil. In America, what do? We go, well, we don't know if he really, he told everybody to go storm the Capitol. What do you call that? So
Yeah.
the problem is that people don't take us seriously anymore. If I was Putin, I wouldn't take us
Yeah.
seriously. I'd be like, I'm just waiting for Trump to become president. I'm going to roll right through Poland. I'm sorry, I'm going to go to Ukraine. I'm going to Poland.
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
to bring
Did you
back the
hear also
1900s.
that he justified?
Yeah,
The fucking justified the Nazis. He said that Hitler had his plans, and
yeah,
Poland stand in the way of their
yeah,
plans, and he
yeah.
just fucking justified.
1939 Poland. This is why, as much as I love
Well,
David for
look,
sending out
it's
the letter to
I'm not
Putin.
afraid, because I read later
Yeah,
that now I'm Polish also. I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
afraid that Putin will go into Poland. And it's
No, the Polish people will fight.
Poland is much more stronger than,
Yeah,
and it's not. It's too many countries now. Poland is still NATO, but let's say Trump wins and he says fuck NATO. There's no NATO,
right.
because right now if Putin does something to Poland, it's NATO. It's the
Yeah,
third world.
yep,
It's by definition.
yeah.
Let's say it's NATO broken. Well, look, it will happen what happened also in the Second World, that France will
Oh, yeah,
support Poland or
yeah,
UK, and those countries have nukes too. And you
yeah.
don't need too many nukes to have it
No, you
finished.
just
So
need one or two
they
good ones.
know
We
it. They
proved that in
know it.
Japan. Yeah. But here's the part of that's really fascinating where Trump's like, he's almost trying to become an isolationist. And that's bad because we're supposed to be America and we're going to make America great again. You don't make any country great by being an isolationist. You make a country great by
Exactly.
being able to go
Get
out and
inside to yourself. Well,
the
you need to
world and
do it
say,
from time
yeah,
to time to
yeah.
create a new mindset, but
Well, that's
not
what
this
China
way.
did. They at 14, what it was in 1407 or 1410, Zhao said stop sailing the world. And then you had a little bit of trade in the 1800s. Then in the 1900s, China's like, screw you, we're closing the country down. And if it wasn't for Nixon and Mao in the 70s, China wouldn't be open. And then Deng Xiaoping, and I read a bunch of books on him. I love this guy. He was like the biggest capitalist ever. And so he's what really, if you look at what Mao did with Nixon and Deng Xiaoping came in, Deng Xiaoping is what made China what it is today because he was a capitalist. And Xi, I think, is kind of following in that footsteps, but he's at least smart about things that he does. So I think it's one of those very interesting things. I'm just hoping as a planet, we get our shit together before it's too late, because the next time, with Missile Boy and all this other stuff, once a war breaks out, kids got toys, kids want to play, that could be a bad thing. So it'd be nice if we can just get ourselves together this year, whether you go Chinese New Year, happy Chinese New
Yeah,
Year to
yeah, yeah,
our
yeah.
Asian friends, and then, or whether it's, the Jewish New Year or the Gentile New, let's like get our crap together. Because if we don't, this time next year, we may not be faring well as a world, let alone a country. So we'll see. That's all I got.
Well, it'll be the same old shit in a way.
Yeah, different day. We'll give us something else to talk
Yeah.
about. Adam,
Well,
it's always good to see you, my friend.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I will present the
Do you have
artwork that I
something you want to
did.
show? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
please.
the artwork, because the other was about the talking we had Um,
All right, ready? We're going to present it when you're ready. There we go. Oh, beautiful. There
yeah,
you go.
this is what
Very
I was
nice.
saying at the beginning, that I
Yep.
want kind of different artworks, and this is more closer to the absolute that I have in mind.
Very nice.
There was a version also, because we were talking about church and stuff. There was a version
Right.
like this. Can you
Okay.
see the?
Here. I saw that. I
There's,
saw that before. I saw
yeah,
that. That was very
but
cool.
I kind of I kind of decided that it'll be better like this for some
Okay.
other for different reasons. There's also, when you're an artist, you also take into account, like, for example, the lines, how they,
Right.
like, they are parallel, so it gives kind of emotion also up and down because of
Right.
the. So
It's
yeah,
gorgeous. I
there'll
like
be.
this. Now, is this my usual question? Are you going to actually sell this as a
Yeah,
list file, or
yeah,
are you going to
this
sell this as an
I will
NFT,
sell.
or how are you going to
I,
sell this?
I don't know yet, but I will sell
Okay.
this.
I like this. This is very cool. I like this. This is nice. I like all your stuff. What
Okay,
can I tell you?
that's it. That's it.
That's it. Who's done? All right, everybody. We're done. Adam, it's always a pleasure, my friend. Have a wonderful
Yeah,
week. And
yeah,
to
you
all our
too.
fans, thank you for watching. The ones who watch the live
Thank you,
broadcast, and
guys.
for you guys that are watching the rebroadcast, which happens the next day. Thank you. Tell your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and like. We like that. And don't
Bye
check out the
bye,
merch.
David. Keep
Yeah,
the
David, good
power
luck with the electric.
on.
Yeah, it's good luck. Good luck with the dikes. All right,
Yeah.
boys and girls. We'll see you all next week. Cheers.
Bye.